You guys, do you remember? There was an Echo show that came out at the beginning of this year, and well, yeah, nobody's talking about it anymore. Okay, like if they would have dragged this out like they normally would when releasing one of these Marvel streaming shows, there would have been at least 5 weeks of conversation. But no, it dropped on a Tuesday, and everybody was done talking about it by about the time Wednesday rolled around. How are those ratings looking? Oh, they aren't. It didn't end up tracking more than just a day outside of the top 10. Fantastic stuff. Like, it accomplished. Disney releasing everything in batch formation in the middle of January accomplished their goal, their intended goal behind the scenes revolving around Echo, to just go ahead and skate quickly over thin ice. They knew it was crap. They couldn't completely and totally get rid of it. So they just decided to do the next best thing. Just, oh, guys, it's TVMA, okay? So if the ratings aren't there for that one, we can just go ahead and point to that and go, see, fewer people ended up seeing it. Even though you also simultaneously released it on Hulu and Disney Plus at the same time. And well, the whole TVMA, oh, this is going to be a darker, more mature, grounded story than the rest of the MCU has seen in a long time. It's going to harken back to all of those really gritty dramas that we used to tell back when we weren't complete and total dog shit. But in actuality, for the people that have seen it and reviewed it, they were like, no, that was a total marketing gimmick, and outside of a couple of blood splatters, wasn't really mature at all. Really could have got away with that PG-13 rating, because yes, this is Marvel slop of the highest accord. Disney knew it, given the fact that they had 8 episodes filmed, and then they cut it down to 6, and then before release they decided to cut it down to 5 because we need to go ahead and, oh my god, at least save Daredevil a little bit, because we already knew that, most of the series that we filmed for him was absolute dog shit, and we can't do that again to him. Okay, that's the last cash cow we had, Karen. We can't ruin it again this time. But you can go ahead and throw Marvel's Echo out to the wolves, because, well, it's not really Echo, and you can go ahead and rehabilitate her by throwing her into a bunch of different things. And I don't know if that Young Avengers project ever gets off the ground. Well, you can have a henchman for the villains, or maybe given the fact that she has manifested the quintessential girl boss powers, well, she would just slot right into, I don't know, maybe the Thunderbolts or something like that. I hear that they are hemorrhaging cast members, so why not stick a chick in it, stick a chick in it and make it lame and, well, most technical of senses. She's not gay. She's kind of asexual. Make her lame and deaf? Yeah, I guess we could do that. But when it came to the reviews, and, well, I unfortunately subject myself to a few of them. I'm not going to watch this crap. Absolutely not. Nobody had anything great to say about this, and given the absolute lack of coverage when it comes to this show, nobody cared. It was supposed to be so important because it ticks so many boxes. Finally, we get native representation. I know a quarter of me felt very well represented. And that you've got able-bodied representation, or crippled representation, whatever, man. Hearing impaired representation. I mean, oh my god, this was supposed to be a life changer, but nobody was talking about it. Not a week later, hell, a month later, everybody's going to go, did Marvel hasn't released anything yet, when they're, waiting for a Deadpool 3 trailer to come out. It's like, oh, that Echo show came out. It's still on Disney Plus. You want to watch it? And it's like, no, I'd rather actually go to a powwow or go meet some natives at a casino instead of watch that crap. But Marvel's Echo, a roller coaster of emotions, cultural richness, and missed opportunities. That's kind of the prevailing opinion from just about everybody that's out there. Last time that we talked about Echo, I highlighted, I think it was Rolling Stone's review, but Variety, Hollywood Reporter, they all basically had the exact same takeaway. It's very important for its representation, but yeah, they could have done this better. And that's what we're seeing, thanks to, Variety ended up breaking the story at the end of 2023, where it's like, wow, guys, hey, Disney and Marvel specifically, they're kind of in big trouble, and now the waters have kind of warmed up, and everybody's hopping on the bandwagon that Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, they're kind of in they're in dire straits. And finally, after years and years of shilling for them, running cover throughout the entirety of Phase 4, Phase 5 rolled around, and, well, we can just go ahead and admit, yeah, guys, there's been a problem here. It's like, welcome to the party, pal. Better late than never, but the damage has already been done, and, well, the course isn't going to be corrected anytime soon, because if you guys were just honest about this, we might have had something to look forward to in 2025, but nope. isn't going to be the case. And something else that we're not going to have to look forward to is Echo Season 2, as it gets a disappointing update from a Marvel executive. Yeah, the people that are down there on the ground level, yeah, they kind of know. Everybody else can already piece together with just some simple deductive logic. It's like nobody's talking about this. And then even if you go and refresh your memory on the reviews, you know that, yeah, this isn't something that's going to be hopping off the page and people are just going to be begging. We need to know more of the story. We need to have Kingpin thoroughly emasculated, even more so than Maya Lopez manifesting all of the girl bosses of her ancestry in order to make Kingpin cry by resolving his childhood trauma. There was a big boss fight at the end. What a disaster. But Marvel Studios Echo released on January 9th. I couldn't even remember that. As part of MCU's Phase 5, but development on Season 2 still hasn't been confirmed. Well, I got some news for you. The development of a potential Echo Season 2 has been given a disappointing update from Marvel Studios executives. As part of Phase 5 of the MCU, the first project to fall under the new Marvel Spotlight banner, Echo released all 5 of its episodes on January 9th, 2024. Echo received generally positive responses from audiences. Sure thing, pal. With praise being given to the series' more grounded storyline. Whatever. Grounded storyline in so much as she can contact ethereal representations of mythological figures from her past. Sure thing. It's mature action. That's a lie. And it's celebration of a Native American culture. Yeah, it celebrated the character so well that they had to go and change her actual cultural origins, because Echo from the comics, who is a vastly different character, is from the Cheyenne tribe. This borked version of Echo is from the Choctaw tribe. Very different. Very geographically different, but yeah, it's all right. They all have, teepees, except for Choctaws, and when they did their powwow scene, which I'm not making up, had teepees that were there, and Choctaws very famously were one of the few tribes that didn't use teepees. So yeah, it shows how much they care and actually want to celebrate legitimate Native American culture. What a bunch of dorks. And representation for the dumb community. However, the praise may not lead to a second season for MCU's first Marvel Spotlight series. Oh, shucks. Thwarted again. Following the release of Marvel Studios Echo, the Direct spoke exclusively to Echo's cinematographer, Kira Kelly. Okay, and questioned her about the potential for Echo Season 2. While Kelly noted that she's not sure that Echo Season 2 would be the next step for Alaqua Cox's Maya Lopez. She stressed that it would be great to see Cox return in the MCU's future. Yeah, it'd be great. Everybody loved her stoic persona, stoic emotional range, her stoic, stilted acting after Echo's release, and the rise in viewership for Hawkeye and Netflix's Daredevil. Ooh, that's interesting. Nobody was actually watching Echo. They were watching other things. Like, oh, Kingpin's in this. Yeah, but he's also in Hawkeye. And that Netflix Daredevil show, people really like that. And The Punisher. Yeah, about that. Marvel Studios is focusing on the MCU's ongoing street-level stories. Sure thing. Which creates some perfect opportunities for Cax to return as Echo. Yeah, they're focusing on those street-level stories. We're just not going to tell you which ones, and we're just going to say, oh yeah, we created this other studio that's definitely going to continue, and it's definitely going to produce a bunch more shows. Which ones? Don't ask me for specifics. Things are changing all the time. They'll definitely be in some of those stories, though, which creates, perfect opportunities. Not sure about that. I feel like in a world where, anything that we could see Alaqua would be amazing. Whether it's another season for her or whether or not she's in Daredevil. Oh, of course, because, hey, Daredevil showed up for 10 minutes and fought Echo and didn't kill the bad guys. So even Daredevil, for as brief a period of time, he still got somewhat character assassinated because he didn't end up vanquishing a foe and he ended up looking absolutely absurd against somebody with a peg leg. You can further look forward to him being denigrated in his own show, whenever that ultimately does come out, coming up, or any other show. I would just love any excuse to see Alaqua perform again. Well, yeah, hopefully she just evolves as a performer and they don't end up catching her after she's just given birth and you gotta try to explain away the weight fluctuations. But at least they got all the, difficult stuff out of the way to begin with, like how she lost her leg. with a big pane of glass from a broken windshield. Don't ask how that works, because the Marvel people who wrote that didn't even bother trying to figure it out. Cut off her leg below the knee in one of the most confusing and physically incomprehensible scenarios ever. Just, if you're going to have a car crash, just have her leg get crushed, for Christ's sakes. They don't even know what they're doing. They didn't even know what they were doing with the Echo Season 1, so let alone there's never going to be a Season 2. They don't even know what the hell they're going to be doing with the Searchlight Studios, or Spotlight Studios, going forward. Because hell, we don't even know everything that Marvel's attempting to release in 2025. Are we going to get Ironheart? Is it going to get pushed off into 2025? We're going to be getting Agatha this year. Don't know the tagline on that one. That speaks to the bungled production on that series right there. The only thing that is for certain is that Deadpool 3 is coming out, and well, we'll be able to do a little bit of a health check on that. But the big bellwether is ultimately going to be when Captain Black American Falcon Man comes out, and nobody turns out to the theater, but we have to wait until 2025 for that. But something we won't have to wait for is Series 2 of Echo, because that shit ain't ever coming out. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.